Hi everyone, my name is Grigor, and today I'd like to go through one of the projects that I was working on for about a year now. And it's a web based enterprise software platform that lets businesses to manage their digital assets, communication, and custom data needs. So, yeah, and first, let me tell you so if you have any interest collaborating it with me or doing a business with me about this, you can always reach to this email address here, and I'll be happy to answer most of and all of your valuable questions. So yeah, but today what I'd like to do is talk about this GitHub page. So I tried to include a lot of details here about the features that I worked on until now, and basically I didn't commit any codes here. I didn't publish any codes here because this is a public repository. I hope you understand it, because if I publish publicly my codes that I've worked for a year, it would be a kind of privacy concerns. My codes would be published and downloaded by anyone. So hope you understand it. And so I kept the codes privately on my repository, but I included this page on the GitHub to kind of share with you the idea, and so that you can reach me out. So yeah, let me go through the software and try to describe it. If you go to the landing page, there is it's just a login page where you can input your credentials and log into the system. So yeah, actually I'd like to talk about the drive feature at first. So it's just a cloud drive that most of you know about. It's a file structure and folder structure. You can manage and create folders and do most of the functionalities with the folders that you know. So I personally created the media directory here, where I included the classified some pictures, for example, cats and dogs. So this directory includes album of cats and dogs, and basically you see the system is able to provide the album kind of a feature. You see photos like a thumbnail shown up on the page, and basically you can manage these files with whichever way you like, cut, paste, remove, and do other stuff. What you can do, you can view the pictures and enjoy it, and on the other hand, you can download the pictures and cut, paste somewhere else. Let's say we want to cut this and move to the other directory, cut here and paste it here, or you can move it back like this, and yeah, that's nice. And then what you can do is so what does the system let with the pictures? It supports most of the known file formats like JPEG, PNG, TIFF, GIF, and HEIC formats, for example. So for example, HEIC is a iPhone format. If then if you upload your iPhone picture to this cloud, it would create a rendition of it and make a PNG file for that HEIC, converted the HEIC to the PNG, and make a thumbnail, cut a small thumbnails to show a thumbnail on the browser, so you can understand what this picture is about. And with this HEIC format, you can keep the original file also, and yeah, basically you can have an album on this cloud drive and enjoy your photos and pictures. And so it lets you download the original file, and if it was rendered, it would also let you download the rendered format. So all files also support up versioning. For example, you have a file that you want to work on inside an organization, and you download the file, you work on the file, and you want to upload to the drive. You don't want to have a new file for it, right? But you want to have a version of it. So you can work on it, and instead of uploading a new file, you can just up version the file, right? So that's a nice kind of feature that we'll go through again later a bit. So you see that most of the photos, pictures, it was able to handle smoothly. There are nature pictures on the other directory, some kind of mixed objects here. So you see the system has generated thumbnails for each kind of picture, right? It doesn't show the picture itself inside the browser because maybe the picture may be a 10 megabytes, right? It shouldn't go and show this 10 megabytes of data inside the thumbnail, and if you have thousands of it, then your browser will hang out. And that's why it creates small thumbnails for it, so that your browser is able to handle this amount of pictures inside the same page. And basically, yeah, you can manage select with the shift, cut, say, go here, paste it 9 items here, and then move it back, cut it, and put it back here nicely. Yeah, you see how easy it was. Yep, this is about, for example, pictures. You can also have experience with documents. We also do process documents. For example, if you have Microsoft Office documents, right? Like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint files, what you can do, you can upload to your cloud, and these documents will automatically be converted to PDF format. So basically, why is it done? Is because if you want to watch the file inside the browser, right? Browsers do not support Microsoft Office format, but instead they support PDF format. So if you upload a document that's of a Microsoft Word format, it will convert to PDF so that you are able to view in the browser. So for example, this is a Microsoft Word document that was converted to a PDF. And then yeah, you can see here that it has two versions, right? So the first version was this one, hello world, this is da 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 da. And you change to the second version, and you see some more data here. And this is the second version, and let's say we together want to add a new version of it. Let's download the Microsoft Office version of the file, open the directory, try to edit it. Some more data goes here. You save the file, and then what you do is you go ahead and up version it. There are two versions, right? Now there will be three versions of it. You see, it has been uploaded, up versioned, and now this data document is being rendered on the backend. So let's wait a bit, and then it automatically refreshed once it was ready, and we can open it. We see some more data, and some more data goes here, right? This was the last thing we added. So it automatically up versioned the file. Now we have three versions of the file. This version, the first version. So this cloud drive supports versioning of the files, right? Yeah, let's go back and create a folder here too, just to experience how it works also. Like, let's create this citrus directory here, right? And try to upload some images here, right? Some citrus images here. Let's select this. Let's a bit less 5, so to not wait too long. You see on the right side there is a upload bar. You can even navigate to different pages. It will upload it for you. You don't have to worry if you have other work to do and you don't want to wait until this uploaded. You can go ahead and other directories and do your work, and come back later. It will have all your files uploaded into the cloud drive on the progress bar. So, and you can watch how it completes the task, right? Yeah, basically this is a cloud drive that I'd like to experience with you. The next thing actually that I'd like to showcase you is the communication feature. Let's wait until this is completed here. Uh, let's should be done soon. Yeah, I think it's done. Yeah, we are done. So all files are here. Again, you can view them, you can download, you can up version, work on it, and then do your whatever you want with them, right? With your cloud drive. Yeah. The next thing I'd like to talk to you is the chat feature. I think most of us experience the chat features like the Slack has or Mattermost has. So they have a convenient way to communicate through the organization, right? You can do a one-to-one communication, you can do a group communication, and there is also experience with the channel, right? So let's go ahead and try to communicate with another user in the system. Let's open another browser here. Yeah, this one here, right? So yeah, for example, this is another user. It's this Grigor Nazarian, and this one is Ampere Cloud. So these are different users. And let's say I want to communicate with Grigor Nazarian, right? So this user, and I say, "Hi Grigor, how are you doing?" And I send it. And then Grigor on his browser received a message from Ampere Cloud. He opens it up and say, "Hi Grigor, how are you doing?" And then he decides to react it, right? So it has the most of the emojis here. And it reacts it, and the reaction appears automatically without any refresh or anything on the other side. And reacts back, it appears here, everything nicely, smoothly, without any issue. So let's say Ampere had in mind something, he wants to edit the message, right? Edit it. And then it saves the message, and then the message immediately reflects changes on the other side. There is a message bus communication going through the browsers, through the internet, and something that was difficult to implement that I achieved. So, but it has been done. So now this goes ahead and answers back, "Hi Ampere, I am doing fine. I hope you too." Send it back, message comes here. "Oh, that's great. You're happy," and reacts it, and reaction received without any refresh and stuff. Yep, that's it. And this is an example of one-to-one communication. But there is also a group communication. So one can choose here users and communicate, start chat, and then a group communication will appear here. And for example, in this group, there are 3 people involved: Grigor, Zan, and Ampere. So let's say Ampere wants to write in this group, "Hi team." So Ampere wrote here, the Grigor received this message here in a bold statement on the top item of the chat. He clicks it and says, "Hi team," and he's happy about it. He reacts it. Reaction appears here, and all the reactions are updated to all the members of the group if they have a browser open on the chat page, right? "Hi Ampere" communicates back, Ruzan, and then Ampere receives back the answer. He decides to answer it with a reaction, and the reaction is received back. So this is an example of group communication, right? And there is also one more format of communication that's called channels. I think most of you are familiar. Like group communication, one-to-one communication are involved 2 parties. Group communication are normally involved maybe 40 people or 100 people, but sometimes it happens that organizations they want to kind of have a channel that's global, right? Say a global announcements channel that they want all the employees, let's say there are 2,000 employees, they want to receive uh, these updates, right? They want everyone to be included in this channel. So this is a channel of such an example. And everyone on that channel can communicate, hi, all, and then sends the message, and everyone receives that message, hi, all, reacts it, and does all the other things they want. That all participants will receive updates, and they will also enjoy the communication. And again, all messages can be edited. You see here, the edited ad has been automatically reflected here. And yeah, basically this is a chat experience. This is very familiar maybe for most of you who have used Slack, right? So I've worked on this. I've tried to implement it very effectively. So I used to have catches that this keep but keeping this data, right? I've tried to be most efficient with the managing this data. At first, the data is kept on the backend cache, and once there is another process which tries to always kind of synchronously, smoothly store the data into the data stores. So yeah, I spent a good amount of time actually on this chat because it was a quite difficult feature, because it actually sounds or looks maybe simpler, but actually on the back end it has a very complicated and complex implementation. And besides that, there was one thing I'd like to discuss about the drive feature too, right? All the data, right, that is kept on this server, on this platform, is distributed, is stored on a distributed fashion. You can have, you can expand this platform as much as you had like. There is a horizontal scaling, and you can scale it as much as you want. You can make sure that, let's say you have 1,000 employees and you want to give unlimited storage to everyone, right? Then you can deploy 100 or 20, 200 data stores, because all data are stored on a separate different data stores with a key value storage, right? So this is a horizontally scalable platform, and it can be unlimitedly scaled based on the needs of the organization. All this drive data that we use to store files, right here, all this data are stored on horizontally scaled data stores. You can add as many data stores as you wish, and you can scale it as much as you want. That's the nice thing about it. You can implement a channel, a drive, a chat, but the good thing about this chat or the drive is that it's unlimitedly scalable. You can scale it as much as you want with the help of horizontally scalable data stores. So data store, and there are two projects, right? One is a data store, that's a scalable key value storage, and the second one is the Ampere software that we use to chat or drive, store the files. If you go to this node administration page, right, there is a node section. On this node section, you see the nodes that are involved in this platform. At this moment, there are two servers deployed. One is a data store server, and the other one is this software node that you use these services, right? Chat and drive. With this node here, first node, and the files actually are stored on a different node. That's a different server. And you can add as many servers as you wish with the address and port number that you provide. You can limit the servers with the storage limit, like gigabytes. It's in bytes actually, yeah. And so you can horizontally scale as much as you wish with this. And all this data, as I said, is stored inside these data stores that are horizontally scaled. Yeah, actually, these are the things that I'd like to talk about this. But there is also one more feature that I'd like to discuss, and that's about the dynamic data type management system. There is a configuration, and you can define objects. Actually, let me increase this size. So, what you can do with the system is you can define objects with the object-oriented principle. So, for example, right? So I went to this objects page and I defined these three objects. One is employee, the second is task, and the other one is task state, right? And what's interesting about this is that I have made this system to become a task tracking system, right? So I just did nothing. I just defined these objects here. And now this Amper is a task tracking system that my organization can use to track their everyday tasks. For example, if we go to this employee object, we go to the fields here, we see there are first name, last name, age, and other things, and then you can see object types here, right? And you see there is only one base object type here. But you can add new object types. For example, a use case of it could be, let's say there is a different type of employee, for example, a manager, right? That has a field reporters. This is the field, that's a number. And let's say it has reporters. So I created a field, right, on this employee object, and I want this to create the object type, not employee, but a manager, right? So there is a base object type of employee, but I want to have also a manager object type that extends the base type. This is a kind of object-oriented principle, right? So there is an object type manager that extends the employee in the base object type, and we create this object type. And what we do when we go to this object type, we see that it inherited automatically all the fields of this base object type, right? And we can add the new field reporters to this object type manager. Now this manager has the reporters field on it. So there is an employee type object type, and then base object type, and there is a employee, which is a manager, and the manager has a special field reporters, which reflects the number of employees that report him, right? And only the manager has this field. So this is a kind of object-oriented programming principle kind of feature on this platform. And basically, yes, there is a task object, a task state, and now with these three objects that we defined, right? We made this system to be a task tracking system. So if we go to the dashboard here, right? Dashboard, and go to this, I implemented this dashboard, and you can create as many dashboards as you would like and configure widgets on it. For example, on this dashboard, task management dashboard, I created these three widgets, which is task widget, employees widget, and state widget, right? So the state widget shows all possible states of a task. And employees widget shows all employees that we defined, right? We defined an object that's the employees object, right? So now you can create here records that would be John Doe, say John Doe, age, it doesn't matter, let's say he's very, I don't know, 25 years old. And make it active status, hit OK, and new record has been added to this employees, right? So there is actually what I'd like also to discuss is there is a mapping between this platform and MySQL database. When you define an object on here, right? This object is reflected on a MySQL database. A table is kind of managed through the platform. You can create a object type, and then you can create a records of that object type with this dashboard. And then we immediately made this system dynamically a task management system without any effort. We just defined these objects, and now this is a task management system which businesses can use to track their tasks, right? So yeah, this was one of the features that I was working on too. So I'd like to kind of bring together some uh, most usable needed features that businesses would be interested in. So, and what you can do here, you can add filters and filter these data. So there are these filters are kind of based on the fields. This is not something that you have to configure. It automatically understands there are these kind of fields, and it understands the type of these fields, and gives you a way to add filters dynamically. Whatever kind of object you create, you will have these filters for you. But there is more to this. You can provide interactions between these widgets. For example, I configured an interaction and I said whenever a state is chosen on this widget, right, then a filter has to be added on the other widget, on the task widget, so that, let's say we choose one state and the widget shows all records of that state, right? For example, I choose the state open, right? I click here, and the other widget automatically refresh data with the filter that state is open. So it added this filter here automatically for you, so that the widget filters all tasks that are of open state. If you unclick it, the filter will be removed. And if you, let's say, also if you want to say no, okay, what are the tasks that Joy Doe owns, right? For example, you go here, there is an interaction put here too. You click it, it seems like Joe Doe has no task because we just created this employee, right? So we unselect it, and then we select all these tasks are owned by Grigor. And if I click here, this filter will be added, but since these two tasks are both owned by Grigor, these two tasks are shown on the widget. Yeah, I think this is a very powerful feature that organizations could have owning this platform. This dynamic object definition is a feature that you can define many different kind of applications. You can think of many different, like expense management system. This is a task management system, right? It's a very simple task management system that I configured in like 5 minutes. You can define, say, expense management system. You can define, I don't know, like there are many things that you can do. A lot of things that you can think of. Just brainstorm and see what kind of data models you can define and how you can create records of those data models and use inside your business to kind of leverage your workflow, right? Yeah, that was the feature that I'd like to demonstrate. This was the dashboard and the task management system that I defined. There is also a different kind of widget that's called details widget. So I selected the task here, right? Then this task appeared, the details of this task has appeared on the other widget. So what you can do is you can go and if you are not comfortable seeing the data inside this list, you can select it and configure a widget that will show only that record inside it, right? So you can even go and update this record inside here. So you can update the record. Even you can update record inline here. You see, it shows that this cell is dirty. What you can do is you can update it. You go here, you click update, and all data is synchronized. You can have multiple updates here, and you see these two cells are updated, right? Then you want to at once update all your changes, commit all your changes, and then you update it. You update it. The records have been successfully updated. So all these dirty cells now updated to the database, and you can see the one here added on it. So you can edit any field here. say you want to choose a different date, you want to choose another date on this one, and you want to update it, and data is updated in the system. So you can run updates, you can create new records, you can create a new record, and this, for example, this dialog, right? This dialog is a dynamic dialog, and this dialog is based only on this object definition. You define the object, now this dialog is according this object, because the object type, the base object type has these fields, it shows you to input all these fields, and since these fields, for example, are required, right? It highlighted in a red color, so you don't miss them out. And if you not provide required field, it will not let you create this record. So okay, let's go and create one more task here. New fancy task. Active, state in progress, and then date. What's the deadline? Oh yeah. Deadline this, and then points, how many points, story points does this have? Let's say 3, and this is the details of the fancy task, right? And you should provide the assignee. Let's assign this to John Doe, and we create it. And then we refresh the page. No, you don't need to refresh the page actually. Actually, the thing is that there is a filter here. We just remove this filter. And yeah, here is the task. A new fancy task that has been just created. And this is the details of the fancy task. And it is assigned to John Doe in progress with these deadlines and with 3 points. If you want, we can create one more. Better fancy task active in progress, John Doe. Okay, points 4. This one is a better fancy task. You create it. Yeah, I think you need to refresh the page. Refresh this widget to see the new data. A better fancy task. So John Doe now has 2 new tasks. If you go and click John Doe here, the widget will be updated with these 2 new tasks, reflecting that John Doe has only these 2 tasks here. And yeah, basically it's interesting. You can remove this John Doe, click here, and the filters will be removed too. Yeah, so you see this is basically a prototype, kind of a already working prototype of a dynamic data model kind of feature, that you can define data models with object-oriented principle and create records of those data models. And you can think of a lot of different kind of applications like task management system, expense management system, or employee time off system, anything that you can think of. You can define, create dashboards, you can define the objects, relate them together, and create dashboards, and then basically run your business, right? So you see we have a task, right? If you go to this task, go to the fields of this task, we can find the assignee, right? The assignee is a special kind of field because it's not a primitive type. It's not a boolean or text or integer. It's a reference type. So this makes the system make up complex data models. You can make as many complex data models as you wish. You can make data model and reference that data model through the other data model and have a kind of a complex relationship-based data models. And even you can have object types. You can have an object and have different object types inheriting different object types, and basically is crazy. Like it's just the object-oriented principle implemented inside this platform that you can enjoy. Yeah, and in future prospects, we what we think of that businesses could need is they could have their email integrated to the system. And one major feature that I was planning was the social network, that each employee would have their social network profile page, and they would have a home page where they would see their colleagues' updates and see their news and stuff. Yeah, this would, I think, be interesting added value to the organizations, businesses running their work. I think now a lot of companies have these platforms, but most of them don't have all of the features together, right? You have to reserve a different server for a social network service. You have to take a service for a Jira, for example, let's say, for a task management system, and you have to pay for a Slack in a different service, and you have to have a cloud drive and pay, say, Google. And now this system has all these features together, right? And you pay only once for this, and you have your data inside your hands. Your data is not located to anywhere on this planet that anyone can have access to your data. Your data inside your organization walls. No one can bother you with your data, and you can manage your data whenever you decide to remove it, you decide to change it, or whatever you would like you to do. So there is also administration page. You can as I told, you can define nodes. This is a distributed system. This is a unlimitedly scalable system. So you can scale as many data stores as you wish, and your data will be distributed across these data stores. So you provide unlimited data to your employees. And yeah, you can define users here, and users they activate their accounts. And so if you hire a new employee, you create new user, they activate their account and do their stuff on the platform. Yep, but a lot of work yet on the way, and I invite you to collaborate with me. I invite you to do business with me. If you would like, just let me know. Yep. Thank you for listening me, and I will store this recording on the GitHub page, and I'll also include the scalability details about the platform on this page. I'll try to enrich this data with all the features that I have implemented. And yeah, this video will shortly be available here too. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you have any questions. I would like to be touch base with you. So thanks a lot. Have a nice day.